Hello, it's Trevor Bond from EXPOSé Real Estate in Toronto. Just wanted to apologize right off the bat for wearing black. Normally I try and brighten people's days with a little bit of color, but Donald Trump just won an election. It's Remembrance Day, of course, and coming up. And Charles Ciargo just did a marketplace report with hidden cameras, very dramatic, that aired on Friday that I've been reviewing, and I wanted to respond to a lot of that. Now, I don't want to undermine the work that her and her team did. I thought it was a very good report that uncovered something that has annoyed myself and most of my colleagues since, any of us at any time, be they 35-year veterans or myself, who's only been in the business for just under 5 years, we all share very similar concerns as the general public. We see it more often. We are unable to, we feel kind of unable, bound and unable to report these issues. And I think it's great that finally we got to see some of these deceptive practices in action. I think that uncovering these agents and revealing kind of these practices shows that there's a total need for, be it a change in the laws, policies, definitely enforcement of those, and the repercussions to the agents that practice this. So let's talk a bit about the practice, because I do feel like the report was a little sensational at times, which is often what happens, and I would like to provide a bit of balance to this report. First, let's just go over multiple representation, and that is where the same agent or realtor represents both parties in a transaction, the sellers and the buyers. And this is called multiple representation. Multiple representation can also be the same brokerage in the same deal. So you might get Remax, Hallmark, which is an enormous brokerage, and you would find multiple representation in a lot of their transactions. And that would not speak ill of any of those realtors. It's just a very large brokerage. So the brokerage itself is who is representing the clients, the buyers or the sellers in the transaction, and we are merely players and or sales representatives, agents of that brokerage. Okay, not agents of the clients, but agents of the brokerage, which is normally why we're not allowed to call ourselves agents in general. So that's multiple representation. The issue with it is always that we are supposed to represent the best interests of the client. We have fiduciary responsibilities and other responsibilities, moral and ethical, and it's very difficult to be in a position where you're trying to represent the best interests of both parties in a transaction. The problem is in multiple offers. So when you have more than one party offering on a property, be it on their offer date or during a bully offer or a preemptive offer, at any time, if there's more than one offer on a property and the realtor representing the sellers has their own offer in the mix. Now, our company at Bosley has a policy that's existed for a very long time, which avoids or helps its sales representatives to avoid any governance issues, RICO issues. We are not allowed to have our own offer in the mix during multiple offers. Period. The policy is that we have a manager come in, a broker come in, and they make sure that everything's on the up and up, and they sit on the side of the buyer or the seller. That's multiple representation in multiple offers, and that should be banned outright, period. RICO should have a rule. That's the rule. Multiple representation in general is a little more nuanced of an argument to just out and out ban. You would be providing a disservice to a lot of the sellers in smaller markets that are dominated by some very good and earnest and with integrity agents that work with integrity, who double into a lot of their deals because it's a small market and they've just got their finger on the pulse, and they work with integrity. And these properties can be up for 1 year, 2 years. You know, they can be listed for. It's a different market, and Toronto may be a different market at some point. And to impose certain rules that act only for this day and this type of a market, it would be unfair. So I think the rule change should be applied primarily to multiple representation during multiple offers, and that, I think, is the most substantial issue that we have. Let me just move quickly into the statistical analysis that Charles E. Argo presented, because this is kind of the only annoying part of that article that really kind of bugged me. And that was that she has been given all this inside information that only insiders get. I'm one of those insiders. Really, it's not that exciting. She was able to determine a bunch of people that had a much higher than average double end statistic, and those are the people since February of 2016 that were tested, right, in the marketplace, and they failed, most of them, all but 6 out of 10 failed the ethics test dramatically. But this is 6 out of 10 people that were already isolated statistically as being more likely to be bending the rules. So to say that 60% of all agents are bending the rules is really an unfortunate statement, and I take personal offense at it, and I don't know anybody in my office that would ever practice the way that these people were seen practicing. Calvin from RICO, our registrar, was also interviewed and shown these hidden camera videos, and he was none too impressed, nor should he be. There are rules that can be changed, and certainly the repercussions can be changed. I mean, I think that Charles did nail it when she said that, like, if you're making $75,000 gross on a deal, double ending a deal, then you are a $5,000 slap on the wrist. It's nothing. It's a cost. It's not even a referral fee, so it's nothing. These people need to lose their licenses, pure and simple. This is in essence malpractice. They have no regard for their clients whatsoever. They are acting purely out of self-interest, and it is deplorable. I do want to end on this poor gent, Kevin, who was in the marketplace report, who lost this property for $30,000. He had an offer for $30,000 more on a country property than the selling agent took for his. So his sellers took an offer for $30,000 less for this property, and so this speaks to kind of the nuances. I'm going to just play devil's advocate. I don't know. It could be just a shyster move, and that was that. And the sellers are out 30 grand, and poor Kevin and his family don't get their dream home, and that's a very sad state. Or it could be that there was a very heavy decision that was weighed by the sellers. In that case, where although Kevin's offer was for $30,000 more, perhaps the closing date, perhaps there was another condition involved, perhaps there was a remediation required, perhaps there was a funky clause. There could be so many things that could influence that decision for those sellers. So I just like to say that it's not all as sensational as just that. I've won many offers offering less money than competing offers, just with a tighter, better, stronger, all-round offer. So an offer is not just the price, it's a sum of its parts. And so on that, I shall conclude this very lengthy diatribe. I again welcome any comments. I just wanted to try and add a little balance to this report. And you can see it on YouTube if you just search for Marketplace Realtors, or you know, scumbags or something. I'm not quite sure.